veer blocking and arcing. One is veer blocking and loop, and then loop. And like I said before, we are a big veer blocking team. We don't loop very much, but because of 50 coming back, I think that's one thing, if we're doing these clinics, that's one thing that we've kind of decided is we can probably have to go back and look at running true loop against 50 defense. And if you're seeing a lot of 50, I think that's probably something that we need to do. And again, when I talk about loop, I don't have any film on it of us running it, but what I'll do is try to tell you what I think and how we'll coach it when we start running it and what some of the other people will do. Again, be very simple if you're, and that's what we try to be. We veer block and arc when we're facing Mike defense. So if I've got 4-3, very seldom will we ask our halfback to block the wheel backer and run triple. We will ask him, just like we talked about in the last session, running belly option, and ask him to block the wheel backer. What's the difference in the two? Speed. That block doesn't have to be very good when the quarterback is reversing out and sprinting 100 miles an hour. That halfback's block doesn't have to be very good. All he's got to do is get on the outside pad for just a split second, and we're buying. Triple, you got to block it a little bit better with the halfback for the quarterback to get outside. Plus, what we ask the quarterback to do is read. I've got down there read space. Against 4-3, we're going to read the stack. That's what we're doing. The two linebackers, the linebacker, the wheel to Sam, and the five technique. And same thing, the thought process of the quarterback is to do what with the football? On triple pull. I'm expecting the defense to do what they're supposed to do. And the sign of sound defense is against option football. Somebody's going to tackle the fullback. So we expect either the wheel or the five technique to tackle the fullback. And again, our philosophy is let double team people, move people inside, where if somebody doesn't tackle the fullback, then he's going to have a big gainer coming out there when we do give him the ball. So if we err, we're going to err on the side of pulling the football on triple option. Quarterback steps again, for us, we're going to try to get him to step at, free block, relax, present the ball back, and run through the mesh. And you'll see on the tapes some better clips of that, I think. The fullback. What does the fullback need to know when we're running triple option? You can cheat and look at this thing, or you can not cheat and answer the question. A gap or B gap. When he gets a B gap, what's he thinking? Tighten the double team and undercut the linebacker. That's all he knows. And again, I promise you, if you called our fullback right now and asked him, they're running triple option to a B gap defense, that would be the first words out of their mouth. Tighten the double team and undercut the linebacker. And as we go through the different looks, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Coach, you ever run a, if there's like, if you have a five technique, you ever read the five technique and read him too? So you read the five, like kind of like a midline where you're, if you were reading the three and then reading the end.
And pitching off the five technique?
No, where you would, the read key would be five technique, and there'd be the hand, outside hand on the strong side.
Oh, a five technique and an end.
Yeah.
Again, that comes back to thinking before the ball snaps. Okay, so what you're saying is 50 defense, right? Or 6-1 to the shade side or whatever, they walk the end up. Yes. Now, and I got to differentiate between the two. If it is Mike defense, 6-1, what does the five technique do 95% of the time? What's he coached to do? 6-1, he's got the wheel backer. There's the five technique. he's got the wheel back or walked up right outside. What's he supposed to do? His assignment not to football. He's got the fullback. So as a quarterback, my stack read now is off. And I'm thinking, I'm pulling the football. Because this guy is supposed to squeeze and tackle the fullback. What we don't like doing, we don't like reading the 5 and pitching off a hot end. We will do it versus 6-1 because the quarterback will get the ball out of the mesh very quickly because he knows the 5 technique is supposed to tackle the dive. So we feel comfortable doing it against 6-1. 50 is a little tougher because we know they're going to slant one way or the other. So we don't run it a ton against 50. And again, it's got to be cover 3, so we would have to run it back into the boundary most of the time. We're not as comfortable. We don't do it near as much or near as well of reading the 5 technique and pitching off the end of the line of scrimmage. We would just soon go to midline or go to double option, zone, and run to that end and pitch the ball. That's what we would rather do. And instead of spending the time of knowing that I got to read and pull and pitch. And that's our thinking behind that. But you can, and I think that's one thing Air Force makes a living at. That's why we don't run loop very much against pitch. Because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with quarterbacks having to read, pull, and pitch. I think that's one of the toughest, quickest turnover situations you can get into in option stuff. When the quarterback's got to read, pull, and pitch off a hot end. I would much rather go to something else, midline or double option. Or belly option, and open up and pitch off the end and arc the halfback. That's our thought for that. Halfback arcing against Mike, Veer and arc. What do we say his steps are, his track is? Staying flat until what? I get him out flank, outside of it. I don't start downhill till I get outside of it. And then we will talk about, and I'll show you on some of these clips, about the tight split of the receiver that I think helps us out, puts pressure on the defense. And in the line, what do the linemen know when we run triple? A gap or B gap. We're going to double team one of them. And again, double team may not suit you. A lot of folks don't double team. They light shift, come off, try to get the backside linebacker and all that stuff. We just don't. We double team people. We make that defensive lineman look at film and know when he comes into the game against us, a 3 technique is going to get double teamed about 40 times a game. And he better be mentally prepared to get double teamed 40 times a game. We want them to have to play with their nose down there in the ground. Because if they get high, we feel like we're going to get movement on them. All right, let me... ask y'all the same thing as I asked. How about, are these things better to look at? Can you see this better than just the old X's and O's things? I think this is something that we just found out we can do. What is easier to be able to see, that or that? I mean, is it not a lot easier to see? I think that's something that's really good to be able to see and understand. We have Mike defense, right? Mike defense. So we're running triple over here. What's the guard step? Is it A gap? Is it B gap?
A gap.
So where's the double team? On the A gap. What's the center? What's his aiming point? Outside number. That's what he's doing. He's over and up to the outside number. with his pad square to the line of scrimmage. The right guard, where's his aiming point? Back hip. And again, I go to the back hip with just an understep and up. And what ends up happening, we end up shoulder to shoulder with our pads going this way. And we want to take the guy and knock him backwards. We get into problems when our guard goes with his pads down toward that nose guard. All of a sudden, we get a guy picking over the top. That's what we don't want. We want to make sure that guy is moving in that direction. The tackle, again, I go back. I'm veer blind. I'm expecting pressure. I under and I up. As soon as I take that up step, my eyes have to be on the linebacker. It's Mike defense now. So my eyes are on the Mike backer. As soon as that Mike backer decides I'm going in there to tackle the fullback, then the tackle's going to attack his outside pad and try to pin him inside. If the Mike backer goes flat, then the tackle's going to keep working flat up the field to try to get to it. We're going to read the stack, one of those two. And again, somebody is responsible for tackling the fullback. Most times, most people we play, the 5 technique squeezes. Sometimes you get against 4-3 teams that their answer to stopping option is pick him out, run him through. If that's the case, the quarterback, again, sees somebody stepping in that gap. So he disconnects, attacks inside, and now I know 5 techniques. In 5 techniques, slow play the quarterback. They shouldn't be able to. They're defensive linemen. I know as a quarterback, the ball, the halfback, when do we pitch the ball? When he gets him out flanked. Well, I know this. If that's my 5 technique right there, and we're going this way, if my halfback's right here, he's out flanked. Even though physically he's not outside of him, he's out flanked by speed. Because if I catch the ball, the quarterback, when I'm there, the quarterback pitches it, if I catch it right here, that 5 technique's not going to run me down. So the quarterback's thought process on triple option, it almost becomes a double option versus Mike defense. He's going to ride the fullback, and that's the whole thing now. He has got to get the ball in the fullback's stomach to make somebody tackle him. If he just flash fakes it, then that linebacker may not step up in there.
You ever just run that fullback guy to make sure people are...
Yes, and that's something we haven't talked about at this clinic. And I say this all the time. If I'd been standing here 5 years ago, I would have told you that we never, ever, ever predetermined give the ball to the fullback. Standing here today, I'll tell you, we will never, ever go into a game not predetermined giving the ball to the fullback. The thought was back then, well, why give the ball to the fullback and let somebody tackle it? Read it, and you're always right. What we found out, first of all, we've gotten better at fullback. We've gone to just double teaming people. So we predetermined against this defense sometimes, just give the ball to the fullback. Do the same thing. Double team that nose guard, tackle, the extended rip, keep the 5 wide to the mic, and we force them to make somebody tackle. And so we feel like that's something that we need to do to make them tackle the fullback. And we run that, we will do that 3 or 4 times a game, depending on who we're playing. It may be as much as 10 or 12 times a game. What we found out is this. when everybody knows that the fullback's getting the ball, that double team becomes a little bit better. Fullback runs a little bit harder because he knows, and there's no indecision. I mean, I think in a perfect world, you would like to say that the fullback, when you run triple when you're reading it, is going to run 100 miles an hour through there. The quarterback's going to make the perfect read, and everything's going to be the same speed. But there's a difference in reality when everybody knows that fullback's getting it. That double team gets a little bit better, the fullback gets a little bit harder, and he knows pre-snap where he's going a little bit better. So we will do that. And I think that's one reason that we can get away with telling the quarterback when we run triple, pull the ball. When it's a predetermined give to the fullback, quarterback, what is he thinking? And do I get tackled? I'm actually reading that stack when it's a fullback give. Even though I'm giving it, I know coach may come back the next play and call triple and ask me to read the stack. So what I want to know is, when it's a predetermined give to the fullback, how is that stack reacting? Or how is a particular 5 technique reacting if it's no mine? And that's part of the thought process of the quarterback.
When you say read the stack, where does his eyes? He's trying to look at 2 guys at once.
What we end up telling him is, again, we try to tell him from looking at film what these guys have done against us in the past and what we're expecting most of the time. If they're a big dive stunt team, and that's with dive stunt, we call the tackle out and the linebacker in, then we'll tell him to be a little bit heavier eyesight on the linebacker. That's what we're expecting. Because he can feel that 5 technique as I'm looking between them. If he squeezes, and again, he's thinking pull the ball. So if he gets that 5 technique squeezing, he can see that guy and pull it. I mean, really, I think what we do is we just kind of look right in there in between. And what ends up happening is they see a big space in there, is what they see. And if they see that big space, they'll give the football. So he's not reading, I mean, he's not looking at a particular guy, he's just kind of looking in between and see if he sees any movement at all in from one of those guys. And if he sees movement in from one of those guys, then he pulls the football. Because again, we're going to give credit to the defense and say that they're sound in what they're saying. One of those guys has got to tackle the fullback.
He's got to be ready to pitch real fast, too.
Correct.
They both are.
Right, and I tell you, I think one of the problems with reading the stack, here's one problem that we faced, and I'll tell you how we try to solve it. One problem that we faced, we don't have a problem if this happens, if this 5 technique, and now, what you gotta realize, and I should have said this before, what did I say most 4-3 teams do against us? Squeak. The reason is we don't get very many stack stunts, dive stunts is because we run the toss play outside. Because don't you think if we were belly option, that's what you would want to run that, right? The dive stunt, so we can't log the 5 technique. We run a toss play to this halfback coming in motion, and we don't block the 5 technique. We just outside release the tackle. And I think that's what, if that linebacker, we'll check to that. Anytime we see a dive stunt coming, when that linebacker we know is inside. And I think people know that, and that's one reason we don't get it a whole lot. So that kind of helps us from that standpoint. But the problem with reading stacks is if the 5 technique does stay flat and the linebacker comes screaming, there's no problem. Because you can just pull the ball. A defensive 5 technique isn't going to trick the quarterback any kind of slow play or anything, because he can just run to and get the ball pitched. The problem occurs if this 5 technique does this. He gets up the field on the snap. I'm the 5 technique, and I know instead of going there, I do this and get dead. And the linebacker comes smoking. The problem now is we're trying to pitch the ball flat. And so we've got to actually pitch it over the 5 technique to get it to our halfback, which is not something we want to do. So that's the problem with reading the stack. But our solution to that, if we're having problems with that and we want to keep running the play, our solution is this. Instead of Veer blocking, loop the tackle. Loop him. He's going to the mic. That's who he's got on triple option when he's Veer blocking. His rule stays the same. Now, what does that do for us? How does that help us in that situation? Keeps the five technique from running up the field. And what'll happen on the play, and we didn't do this a single time this year, because the stat stunt was never a problem for us this year. Last year, 2 years ago, it was a problem, and that's what we went to help us out. What happens is when the tackle does this, the five technique can't get up the field now. He keeps fighting, and he'll end up staying flat, and our tackle will just stop and come up and pin the mic. And now the linebacker runs through, we pull the ball, we pitch off the five technique. That's how we handle a guy that's getting up the field.
On the triple, if you know you're pulling the ball, the fullback responsible for blocking anyone, or he's just going through?
No. And again, that's 95%. We're thinking we're pulling, right? So he's just running his track. He's got to get tackled. That's what we tell him. You keep running your track. And again, fullback, please let the quarterback know if you're not getting tackled on every triple option we run, if the ball gets pulled. And I got tired for that young freshman guy. I'm sitting there in practice in the huddle. We run a play. Good. Nobody tackled. Okay, good. We'll come back and we'll give you the ball in just a minute. We'll got a quarterback. 2 plays later, we run triple again. Coach, I didn't get tackled again. But then that's what we want. We want him to tell the quarterback, listen, quarterback, if you get the same look you just got, let me have the ball next time, because ain't nobody tackled me either. Yeah. And again, if the quarterback ain't getting tackled, the quarterback's going to feel good about pulling the ball all the time. He doesn't know that the fullback isn't getting tackled. But if the fullback will communicate with him and tell him, then if the quarterback doesn't give it to the fullback some, the fullback will let me know, and I come back and do what? Predetermined give it to the same defense. And I think, let's run it to the other side.
Halfback's got safety.
Halfback, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do that. Let me go to the wide stop. Let me get the wide stop here. Let me see if I can find it. I think I brought one that's got the coverage. Let's talk about this real quick. Coverages. How many different coverages? First of all, how many different fronts did we say there were? 4 basically, right? And really you can get it down to 2, A gap and B gap. Coverages, how many coverages? 1 is what? Defensive guys. What's cover 1? Man to man. So 1's man. We love man. Why do we love man? Because we just run the guys off, the receiver. We don't have to block them. We can have you ever had a receiver block the corner 40 yards down the field on a stop block? We haven't. But we've had them blocking 40 yards down the field when it's man, because we just run them off. That's easy. Cover 2. Everybody know what cover 2 is?
2 safeties.
There's cover 2. 2 half players, 2 press players. Well, we tell our receivers, no matter what the option is, you never, ever, ever, ever block a press corner. Never block a press corner. Because it doesn't matter. If we're loading it, we're loading, who would we load? Halfback. Again, you guys got to come back and play for me Monday. If I'm this halfback, and we call triple veer load or belly option, who are you loading? That linebacker. So who are we pitching off of? There. So don't block him, go to safety. If we're arcing, running triple and arcing down here, well now he's got him and I go to him. So I never ever block a press corner. And there's always exceptions, a couple other plays where we absolutely do it. Or if the quarterback screws up and they go to cover what we call cover six, take the strong safety and put him there and the free safety over here, and we run the play, which we shouldn't because they don't have enough up top now. If he ever sees cover six, he'll block the press guy. But as a rule, he never blocks the press corner in cover two. So we have man,
He doesn't look like Chris, he's off of him, not.
that guy. Oh yeah, well, and again, now everybody plays press differently. You know what I mean? He may get up in his face and play man press, play cover two. He may be 2 yards, maybe 3. These guys just have to line up for 5 yards.
Basically, you just say don't, any cover two.
Correct. Right.
Cover his press and
Right. Right. Anytime, and can you not tell the safety's back, corner's up?
Sure, I can tell.
Yes.
Cover two.
Right. As long as you know it's cover two, don't block the press corner. And we call a press corner the cover two guy that's there, whether he's up in our face or whether he's back. Next coverage. What's that?
Cover three.
The old cover three. And we'll get to it here in a second when we go into the boundary. But if we're to the field in cover three, we're going to block the corner always. Always. If we're into the boundary, we will read blocks first threat between the corner and the safety. Whichever one. So if he wants to bail out there and he just comes smoking up in there, then the receiver will run off the ball and go crack. But we feel like to the field, we want to make this guy have to make a tackle out in space all the time. Okay, great free safety we played about 8 years ago from one of the teams we played. He was all conference, all American, and all that kind of stuff. He made 26 tackles against us. They stayed in this defense. We kept running back then. We were running nothing but triple. That was it. He made 26 tackles against us in the alley. But guess what? The 27th one, he missed, and that was the game winner. And that's what we want to do. We want to wear a cover three free safety out to the field. And then, again, we've got the play action stuff to throw over his head to beat him. But to the field against cover three, we will always block the corner. Into the boundary, we will read it. One of those two. So, cover one, cover two, cover three. And the other one is what? What's that? And what's another mathematical term for four? That's what we call it. Cover four. We're very simple, I'm telling you. It ain't hard. Hey, there's 4 of them across there. Cover four. Now, here's what we do with cover four. If we get a wide split, the receiver blocks the corner. The halfback, if it's load, linebacker, if it's arc, safety. And that's what I got to learn as a halfback. If I'm arcing, if it's cover 2, I'm going to have to arc wide to get to that press corner. If it's cover 4, I can start downhill quicker. And of course, the issue, once I get him what? Out flank. And then what we really like to do against cover 4 is tighten down the split of the receiver. Anytime we get a tight split with the receiver, he's going to the safety right now, to his upfield pass. And when we get big plays on the option stuff, it's usually because we've got a tight split against cover 4, we pin his outside pass, because most cover 4 teams, when the motion starts, want to outside the load, inside the load. So if we can get him to pin his outside pad, now all of a sudden we're arcing out here to the field, and this guy's got to keep leverage. So we get a big gap to run in between those two guys. Plus, if you want to look at the play action stuff between the things, when this guy gets a tight vertical right now and behind everybody a lot quicker than he is back in from out wide. That's what we found. So that's the coverages and how the receivers and the halfbacks get it.
So the receiver's tracking on the safety in cover four.
If he is tight split.
And then you're arcing the wing back
Right.
to the corner.
Yes. And again, I think when we had in the past, had a couple receivers that were pretty fearless guys, and we would crack a lot with those guys. Right now, we're a little soft at the receiver, and we're better at the halfback, so we're not cracking near as much. And I think that's just a personnel thing. You know, if you got a tough-nosed guy out there at receiver, and he doesn't mind getting his nose bloodied some, I'd crack a whole lot and let him go in there on the safety, because it's bad. For us, it's always better if we can crack and get the ball outside. We would like to do that as much as we can. All right, we're back here. So we're running triple, veer, and arc. We're reading the stack. We're doubling the nose. He's up, extended up to the mic. And the receiver, depending on what his split is, with a wide split, well, again, I treat this as cover two. I push up the field as far as I can, pin the outside pad. Halfback, stay flat until I get this guy outflanked. Keep rolling. And, you know, I know you guys can't cut. We've gotten where people are real soft when we arc block. So we can't cut any more hardly, because you can't cut a guy that's going away from him. That's what we found out. So we do a lot of staying up blocking, and you'll see that on the tape. We've got some really good, they do some good job. Our halfback gets out here, he gets to the press corner, and the press corner knows he's starting to get close to the boundary. And so he kind of stops, our halfback finally gets him, and we just want to get their hands on that outside pad right there. And keep working and just work around him and try to get him pushed up the field. And you'll see some pretty good blocks on this thing. Any questions about that? Triple veer and arc. And then the one thing, what I wanted to show you again, just to keep it fresh in your mind, if we run this to the left here, to the B gap side, what's the fullback thinking?
Under double, undercut.
Undercut. Now, the difference between Mike and no Mike, or the center has got to get the Mike back. Now, by got to get him, what do I mean? He doesn't have to get him cut off. We're double teaming here. Again, pads stay north. Guard is to the outside number. Tackles to the hip. And we work them backwards. The center, we're scooping it backside. And the center has got to block the mic. 9 times out of 10, he's not going to cut the guy off unless the mic is just a sluggo in there. Because when the motion starts, this guy, if he's a football player, is going to start doing that. What the center is responsible for in mic defense is running the mic by. So what you'll see is the fullback is staying tight to the double team, undercutting the linebacker, and the center is helping him by pushing the mic by. Quarterback's still reading the stack here. So that's saying if we give the ball to the fullback. So most 4-3 teams, they want this guy to be the extra guy on option football. What we do, I think, is force this guy to be a tight player all the time, because even if we pull the ball here, that Mike backer's not going to keep running against us, because our fullback is going to stay tight to the double team and undercut that linebacker even if he doesn't have the ball. So that Mike is going to start, and then all of a sudden he sees the fullback coming back up underneath him. He's going to stop and see if he's got the ball or not. And most times he's going to tackle. And you'll see that on the tape.
Won't the defensive end tackle the fullback?
If he does, then we're fine. We've got the ball pulled and pitched and outside right now. And we hope we outrun the Mike. And hopefully they have a miscommunication or aren't coached well enough where the Mike is more concerned about making sure that fullback isn't in there.
And you're leaving the Sam and the end unblocked, right? You're just gonna
We're reading the stats still.
read the stacks?
Yes. Hey, now, you're the quarterback. Right now. You're underneath the center. I made a Mike, I made a Mike. Look at that guy. What do you think he's going to do when the ball snaps? Straight up the field. So if I'm reading the stack right there, I got a good idea that all I'm looking at is that guy. If I'm on this side, what do you think's going to happen with that guy? He's going to squeeze. You know what I'm saying? I think, again, I go back to pre-snap. There's so much you can learn and look at and understand before the ball snaps. And if I know that, now it makes reading that stack really easy.
So he's gonna be pitching real quick,
Right.
but this guy's to get upfield in between.
That's right. And that's the one. And then again, now, I don't know what we're running here, but I can tell you this. As a coach and as a quarterback, I wouldn't feel real comfortable running this and trying to read the stack knowing that that guy's going to get up the field. If I was a quarterback and the coach had it called over here, I'd go down, opposite, and I'd run it to this side. That's what I would do.
Wouldn't fullback be a good choice in that one? I mean, you're the fullback coached up to.
Yeah, to make sure that somebody's tackling. Again, great time to predetermine, give it,
Yeah. 'Cause
to
he's
make
gonna-
sure that guy's tackling the
He's
fullback.
gonna read the center as well, right? The center's gonna come all the way across with.
The center, yeah, the center's going to run him back.
He's gonna hug and he's gonna right inside his
Right.
the back.
Yep.
So would you say most of the time you try to get the ball to the right side, off to the A gap guy?
Yes.
Just because it seems like it's easier.
Yes.
It's an easier way to run it.
Yes. No doubt. Now, take that guy right there and make him play like that one. Put him down there as a 5 technique. And I would just as soon run it to the eagle side as I would the shade side. But there is no doubt, you're absolutely correct. I would much rather read this stack than read this stack. Because I know what's going to happen. That 5 technique's going to get up the field, I'm going to have to pitch the ball over his head. Absolutely. But if you put him down in that same position as a 5 technique, we would much rather run it to the eagle side because we like this double team and we know that people are going to have to keep that mic in there tight on it. And I'm not even sure on this tape that we've got what we run against the most. I don't even remember. I don't even know if there's 1-2 eagle. I don't remember. All right, questions about that? Triple Veer R. All right, let's look at it on the tape. The rest of the belly oxygen that we didn't get to here. Let me show you this just while I got it, just what we were talking about there. Watch what happens on this one. This is back to the belly deal. Watch the 5 technique. Watch the 5 technique. Watch what he does. And watch what our guard does. This is where I think a lot of other folks would probably get inside. Watch him turn and run to the boundary. Now, what you got to understand, we just ran this 7 times before this play against him and got outside of it. But we're going to keep going. What ended up happening, watch our halfback, our right halfback bumps into him because he's going to the linebacker. Guard keeps running and just keeps pushing him out of bounds. And so that's how we handle a wide guy. Guard just keeps running, keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running. And that's how we end up handling that wide gap. All right. Make a decision. What's the defense? Mike. So we're Veer and we're Art. Which side would you run it to if it was you? Why would you run it to the top? I'm gonna disagree with you. I don't know why you would run it to the top.
We got a left, because, on the left side, he's coming, the five technique is gonna come down.
It's probably an easier read. What he's saying, this guy's probably inside our tackle, and it looks like that to me on film. The biggest thing I say, the reason I'd rather run it down here, I got two G's inside, two five techniques, a wheel and a wheel, a Mike backer, cover two, but I've got 37 yards of field down here, and I've got 17 yards of field up there. Now, we ran it up top, and our receiver screws up, but that's where, again, if I had to go back and do it again, I would rather run it up here. G, the double team is coming on the G, and I think you can see it from the wide copy, so our center and our guard should block him, right? There's the double team. You can see the movement starting to happen. The tackle is extended ripping up to the Mike backer, and he gets too low on this one. He goes down there and tries to dive. For some reason, the quarterback handed this ball. I don't remember why or what the deal was, but he handed the ball, and you can see, I'll show you the back view, how little room it takes for that five technique to screw up for the fullback to get through. Watch the double team. I'll try to stop it, and then here's the double team, up to the hip, center reach the front side number. Pads are square. The five technique, he took one step, tried to squeeze a little bit, and he didn't go out very much. But that movement on the double team gives our fullback a chance to run the ball. And again, it is a A-gap defense, right? So where's the fullback thinking he's running the ball on A-gap defense? Till he sees the tackle's tail cross in front of it. Then he can go north. There's the tackle's tail. Now he can go north. And I go back and say this. What should the quarterback have done with the ball? Or what could he have done? Did he get tackled? So, could I have pulled it there? Yes. Do I want to? Yes. If my quarterback and my halfbacks are better players than my fullback and there's an indecision, pull the ball. Pull the ball. But it doesn't hurt when you can hand the fullback and pick up 9 or 10. All right, what's the defense? Mike. I don't know which side. I think we're running up top actually here. I know we are now. It is a G again. Inside shade on the guard. So the double team. What's the double team? If we get that movement, somebody better tackle the fullback. If they don't, we're going to be all right. What should I expect that five technique to do? Why should he squeeze?
He's got to help outside, the wheel all the way outside.
That's right, right. Now, let me tell you, I'll give you a little background. This is the third time we ran this play in this game. The first two times, the quarterback pulled the ball, and the guy tackled it, the five technique. He screwed him on the read. And if I'd have known, I'd have brought that and showed it to you. Because we got that two plays, the quarterback got screwed. Because he didn't tackle the fullback, and he ain't gonna tackle him that wide. So now the quarterback comes back the third time and says, "You're not gonna get me again." Me as a coach, I said, I called it again because I know he knows that. He got it twice. It ain't gonna happen again to him. So if there's any doubt next time, he's gonna give the ball. And that's what he did. These guys gave us ugly reads all day. And the quarterback took a pounding, but what he did, you'll see on the tape here, he gave the football. And if we get that movement, he gives the ball there, and guess what? The fullback comes through, because I don't have a back view on this game, sorry, so this is the same play with just a tighter copy. Once again, the movement of the nose guard, and then the tackle down to the mic. Tackle should be down to the mic. He should destroy the mic because he's unblocked. I think we need to stay up on that.
You be hitting the crack at the top.
Let's
the
see.
receiver.
This is a horrible game. I mean, we were,
This is cover 4, isn't
what they end up being.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably saying he's got a wide split, so he's staying on the corner. Probably what happened, I don't know, let's see what he did. And the halfback out flank, don't start downhill till I get him out flank. And that's what's gonna happen sometimes, right? If the halfback is doing what he's supposed to do, keep running until you get him out flank, all of a sudden, that guy sees the ball handed to the fullback, well, the halfback isn't gonna block the guy. Because that's not where he's supposed to block him. He's not responsible for him inside. It's up to the fullback to make the backside safety miss that guy. And then, coach, I wish you would do this now. Make sure, look at the scoop backside. Have you looked at it at all? I look as we go through these triple stuff. I wish we'd have done it on some. Let's look at it real quick, because I want to look and see what we're doing and if we're doing what we need to be doing and all that. We got a G, so the guard should just get him shoe shine and get through it. I think what you'll see is them on the ground most of the time. All right, now all of a sudden, again, here's a little more history of the game. We handed the ball to the fullback about 4 or 5 times, and nobody tackled him. He kept hitting through for 10, 15. So now they decided, no more. 5 technique. You come inside the tackle when the ball snaps. Makes the read easy, right? What's he got to do now? He wants to scrape over the top and run out there, but he's seen us on film and knows that we predetermined hand the ball to the fullback some, so you'll see him tackle the fullback. That's what you'll see. And the fullback stays outside the tackle's face. Again, Mike defense, there's a double team. I can pose it. There's a double team. He comes inside our tackle. We should lift that right wing and rock him on down. And bam, there's Mike backer tackling the fullback, because he knows they've played us long enough to know that our fullbacks are going to go north with the ball off that tackle's tail. That's why the Mike's there. And then outside now, what was the cover? Anybody see it? Cover 2. Cover 4, actually. And he just says, I'm going, and we communicate, those guys communicate. He doesn't do a good job of blocking here. Very poor, very good here. Staying up on this one, working the outside pad. Keep working the outside pad. Great job there by the halfback. Keep whip, keep whip, keep whip. Get him out flank. Bam, bam, bam. Keep working, keep working. Our receiver tried to come and tackle our halfback there. Let the tight couple glide come. Let's see the scoop backside here. Let's see what happens. He better get him cut off. I can see that. He better get him cut off. Bam, bam. I don't think Scoop's hard. I think you just got to work at it. Now all of a sudden, here's a tighter split against cover 2. So he's going to the safety. Hopefully we get him pinned, and he's going over the outside. I can tell you what's going to happen. Again, they've seen us throw this guy on the takeoff, on the post and the wheel, a lot. And so he's going to make sure that this guy is running the post. So he's going to bail. What he's going to do. How about my read? What am I thinking?
Squeeze.
Should be, right? And now, again, later in this game, that guy finally decides he's going to take the fullback. How about the double team? We'll get to that. Heart block again. Up the field. Heart block. Keep whip, keep whip, keep whip, keep whip, keep whip, keep whip. He crosses my face, kick him. And there's the gap running to. First thing with the pitch back. Pitch back. Not very good. Not very good, because why? Watch him go through his heel, and he keeps running back here. Watch it. See that? He keeps running back this way. He should catch this ball. He catches it. Look where we're catching it. You'll see on these next couple clips, we won't catch the ball right there. Not back here. And all of a sudden that puts a whole lot more pressure on the defense. Breakdown in communication with our linemen here. Breakdown in communication. We're supposed to be double teaming that guy, right? He lined up in a zero. We didn't communicate. The tackle thought he was a G. The center thought he was an E. So we don't get a double team. We get a single. And that's not something we want to do very often. And so all of a sudden, we get nothing. The fullback didn't have nowhere to run because our guard's getting stuck. Fortunately, he got tackled. And again, which way would I run now? Here goes back to one of my questions you asked earlier. What's the defense? It is Mike, but it's not an even front. It is shade up top, and I got a 4 technique down here. That's when he answers, if he didn't, he should have checked up top. We want to run it to a eagle or a G or a shade, not a 4 and a 6.
It's like I want to see.
On defense, right? No, there's a 4 technique. No, there's 4.
There's 2 there. Okay.
In right there in the 4 technique. Inside shade. Again, we get a quick, I think we get a quick disconnect here. Quick disconnect, and still at the top. This is a freshman halfback, and he's the one you saw last night, number 7. He's going to be really good if we get him downhill now. Watch the quarterback's feet. Again, he's looking like almost somebody said last night, Coach, it was you, right? Jump. You want your guy to do what our guy's doing right there, don't you? Is that how you coach it?
I just want him to turn out, get 2 feet out as quick as he can.
He does pretty quick there. And it's not what we coach him. Again, what we do outside, anybody see it? I think we block solid outside. We'll mix it up every once in a while. Pass too high by the tackle. Again, I had it called up top. Had the play called up top because I want to run it to the field if everything is balanced. Quarterback saw a 4 technique again, so he goes down opposite, and we run the play down here. Think he knew? What's that guy? What's him? They fix to run the ball right down here. That's all right. We get a double team. What's the nose guard? Double team. The Mike backer got blocked by the tackle. In the grip, eyes on him. I did not feel pressure, right? I didn't feel pressure. Watch, he doesn't get squeezed. Get my eyes on him, get him blocked. Great job again by the halfback, just staying to the outside head.
Now, is that a cover 2? When that safety walks up there, it's like almost 3 inches.
It actually ends up this side, and he ends up in cover 4. And into the boundary. Is that not always a tight split into the boundary? So most of the time in the boundary, if we've got cover 4, then he's going to crack the safety, and he's going to arc outside. And the half receiver does a great job. He misses him. Once he misses him, but he makes sure he knows that guy can't go over the tops. And then he comes back and gets him. The halfback does a great job getting on the outside pad and just keep it locked down.
Coach, your backside tackle,
Backside tackle, we'll see it from the back view.
he's supposed to,
He should extend up probably. He's scooping this guy. He's got a 4 technique.
so that he's going to go under,
Right.
and he's going to look at the back, the backer, the left side's going to come out. The backer on the left side comes underneath him, so he should just get out of it, right?
Yep, he should
Go look
keep
for a
going.
safety.
If he gets through clean on this guy, probably he's going to end up on the ground cutting this guy. He does. He gets through.
But he turns hero at.
He should be looking with his eyes backside. And you got the guard. The guard does absolutely right there. That's a great job by the guard. Let me run it back to the line. The tackling does scoop with him, right? And now our guard, got to be the guard. That guard right there.
No, I was looking.
Tackle scoop. There's the guard on any trail guy. That's a great job there. And the question he needs to decide, backside, that guard is, do I need to block that guy, or can he make the play? Should I keep going to this one?
He goes underneath. He can't make
Yeah, that's right. He goes back. So, I mean, I would tell him there probably, as I come through, look, if he's coming low, keep working up the field. Yep. Yep.
He spins around.
Yep, he blocked it. Again, double team, up to the hip. Let's see that first step. Still kind of low, but he gets there. I think, again, the best thing, pads got to be north and south. They got to stay north and south. And again, we pitch the ball out front on the pitch out flat. Receiver, what's he got? Tight split, going to the safety. Safety disappears inside. Just go on to the next level.
This cover wood.
This is actually cover 4 again, which is what we see about 90% of the time. I can call it cover 4, straight across. Motion starts, he's going to invert, or actually he's supposed to be coming outside, but what they've got a little game. I think, here's what they wanted to do. They wanted to take this in the pitch and take the safety in here. And they had us because our receiver couldn't get to the safety. We were tight splitting it. If that end runs the pitch and our quarterback turns up. Now here's what and that's something we see very seldom, but we'll see every once in a while. And the quarterback's got to understand this. If I'm pitching off of the stack stunt, 5 technique takes the dive. And as I approach the wheel backer, he is smoking it outside. It's just like that tackle Veer blocking. If the 5 technique doesn't squeeze, the linebacker's going to step up. Well, it's the same thing. If that end runs outside, then that safety is probably coming to me right now. So if I turn up, I'm going to run right into a freight train. Anytime the guy that I'm pitching off of sprints out, I've got to keep sprinting out until I see the halfback flash in front of me, or the receiver if it's a tight split. Does that make sense? Probably need to draw that one.
Next second.
You don't leave the halfback to pitch.
Switch.
Yeah, what he's got to do is he's got to try to see that and adjust as flat as he can, get to the safety, and now the quarterback stretches because the end's running. It's something, again, that's unnatural. You know what I mean? Anytime I'm pitching off somebody and he's slow playing me, that's one thing. But if he is running away from me, something's up. And the quarterback's got to understand that, and he's got to run with him to his tail until he sees either the receiver, if we're cracking it, or the halfback, if we've got a wide split, and the halfback is going to the safety, the halfback's got to see that and redirect back. So the quarterback's got to keep stretching until he sees the halfback block the safety, and then he goes more. And it's one of those stunts where if we don't handle it well, they'll get us. If we handle it well, they got major problems. Because now all of a sudden, whichever way it happens, if this happens, if that end runs out the pitch, and we get that safety pinned inside, all of a sudden our quarterback's running in the alley with somebody else blocking the corner. And that's what we want. And that's what we end up getting. We're fortunate here, get it pitched off to us. Again, watch the tackle come inside our tackle, and watch where the Mike backer ends up. He ends up right there for the fullback, right in there tight. He tackles the fullback. And that's because they know, again, when that 5 technique comes down. All right, questions about the arc stuff?
Do you use the reverse motion at all, or twirl motion?
No. And for mainly one reason. It's hard. if I'm taking the right halfback and starting in motion and then going back, right? With triple, for us, as quickly as we're trying to get outside, we can't get the halfback there. We don't use very much of that twirl motion. Other people do and do it well. Midline, we'll talk about later. A lot of people start the motion this way and then let him go, and we just don't do that. But there's nothing right. If you can get that halfback there, then it helps you from the secondary standpoint, no doubt about that. All right, nothing else with that. Triple veer load.
Excuse me, just one question.
Okay.
Do you run the triple veer to the tight end? With the tight end, I never, any of your clips I didn't see that. Did you ever use
Well,
that?
I tell you what, Mr. Bill put down there, split in option, triple option. And so that's what I brought to talk about. I will show you this. This is what we will do. I may actually have it. Yes, it is.
Like a 4-3 defense, would you have, does the tight end block the Sam then?
You could do that. And we don't. Let me see if I can find 4-3 to the tight end. Number 8. And I will show you how I would do it. The problem is, that's what you're talking about right there, right? Tight ends up top. And 4-3, correct? That what you're looking for?
Yeah, he's got like a 7 or 5 technique there instead of a regular, but
Well, it's an overload.
it's an overload. I'm thinking about where you have just a regular 9 technique.
You want
on the tight
him
end.
moved out there?
The arc, when you see that more than, or you guys see the 7 technique as more? That's kind of an odd defense out here for us. I don't see that much. We see more just a straight 4-3.
And by straight 4-3, what you're saying, you end
Or
up with 9
9
technique?
9 technique, yeah.
Yep. What you could do, what we would do, or what we've done, we don't see.
You consider that an outside veer if you do that, then, I guess.
Right, that's what it ends up being. Now, we will do that against no Mike, but you can do it against Mike. It's no big deal. It's just that you can tell the tackle to release. What you're saying is this look, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can do the same thing. Let me make sure I don't say something weird here. It's got to be. What's the coverage have to be? At worst, when it's 4-3 to the tight end, where's the free safety got to be?
He's gonna be on the other side. Oh, no, the strong safety is probably gonna be on the other side.
Strong safety's got to be there to the overset. There's the center.
Yeah, if you got an overshift there, but, I mean, if you just got your regular,
Right, if you're saying with a single tight end,
yeah, with a single tight end,
corners there, free safety, it still goes back to the same thing. Free safety's got to be nose up the ball in 4-3.
Yeah.
With a tight end in the game, he's got to be nosed up on the ball. If he's not nosed up, we should run the opposite way. Numbers dictate that. But if he's there, and then you're saying a 9 technique and a sandbacker inside, right? Yes, I mean, you can do the same thing if you want, is double team him, and you could actually probably take the tight end inside to the Sam and read the 9 technique. I mean, what we would end up doing is that, and read the stack and arc to him. So you could do the same thing, I guess.
cause you see that, you think that they're usually gonna be, okay, I see.
We don't do a whole lot to the tight end option-wise, triple-wise. You can do everything you're doing to the split end, to a tight end. I mean, there's no
It
difference.
makes it wider.
Excuse me?
Too wide. You just think it makes it too much of a, outside here, too wide.
No, but I tell you what, I mean, when we do, we will run what we'll do to this side, to that look, is we will do this. We will base the tight end on that guy and read him. And so if he steps out or just steps up, we'll hand the ball to the fullback and let him type the double team, let the center run the mic back and undercut. That's one of my favorite ways. It's a read, but it's a predetermined give to the fullback almost. Because I know that Sam Backer isn't going, it's almost impossible for him to get down there tight enough to tackle our fullback. But if he does come running down in there tight tackling, we can pull the ball and run off that block, inside or outside of it. We just don't do that very much.
How about sealing the wingback inside and running the option against the corner? The pitch off the corner.
Reading the 9. I mean, again, to me, this is my thought, it's going to be given. Because a 9 technique is not going to tackle our fullback because of this double team. But yes, same thing. You can take him to the mic, take him to the Sam Backer, read that guy, and pitch off the corner. Absolutely. If you're getting people that are squeezing, if you think he can, if he's trying to, even if he can't get to the fullback, if he's trying to get to the fullback, yes, stone the mic, load it there, and go outside with it.
You ever arc the tight end?
Never.
Never.
And the reason, our guys are not great athletes. We arcing on at worst, good athlete. So we don't want to get our guy that's not very athletic out in space against one of their guys that is. And that's just us. And there are some teams that we used to play in the past now that, and it makes it tough. It screws up coverages and all that when you can do that. But we just don't do it. But if you can, if you've got a kid that can do it, then just change the tight end and the halfback's assignment. And you're in great shape. Anything else on the Veer and arc? At Veer and load, that's what's next, correct? Again, for us, linemen, it changes absolutely nothing. It changes absolutely nothing for the linemen. They A gap, B gap, double team, whichever one it is. That's what's good, I think, about what we do from an option standpoint. If it's belly or belly option, they do the same thing. It's A gap or B gap. If it's triple option, they do the same thing. They're going to double team an A gap guy, double team a B gap guy. Fullback, same thing. I got to know what the front is. Eagle, G, shade. One or the other. I'm going to be tight to double team, undercut the linebacker. The only difference now is the halfback is loading the front side linebacker. He cannot get beat underneath. That's the whole thing. If he gets beat underneath, the quarterback is going to get killed, and we're going to have a fumble. So we will allow our halfbacks to get beat over the top and let the quarterback have a chance to do something there. But if they get beat underneath, we're dead. Everything else is exactly the same about the play. Again, defense. What is the defense? No mic. So we're going to a load scheme. We're going to a load scheme. If we run it to this side, over to the outside number, under and up to the back hip, we double team that 3 technique, pull back, hike the double team, undercut the linebacker. Undercut the linebacker. He's going to scrape. He is scraping knowing that he's getting blocked by the halfback. I think that's one thing that makes it real easy for the fullback to make that linebacker miss, because that linebacker knows if he's playing 2 linebackers the whole game, every option we run, that halfback's coming down to smoke him. So he's more concerned about getting blocked than worried about that fullback being tight to double team and undercut the linebacker. The center now, and this is what we talked about last night a little bit, the center has got to go over with his eyes on the backside linebacker. He's got to, first of all, he's got to quick peek this front side and make sure he isn't running through. But that should be handled by the double team and all that. If they're doing games by picking the three out and run the linebacker through, our center needs to get something on the guy. If not, he's up and he is to the backside linebacker. And then we're scooping it backside again, nothing inside of me to scoop as a tackle. So I extend through with my eyes. When it's no mic, I've always got to drop in that there. So as I come through tackle, get my eyes back outside. Keep running down the field, but my eyes outside. That's one thing that's hard to teach young kids as they come in. You tell them they're going to block that wheel backwards when they scoop. They come through and they want to stop and block the guy. They don't understand you can run in this direction and look and see where he is. What happens if they stop, the guy's running at him, he takes one step there and he beats him over the top. What we want him to do is come behind us always. So as I end up scooping through there, my eyes go there, I want to make sure there's no possible way that that guy can beat me over the top to run the ball down. So I keep running. Now, if he wants to come underneath me, fine, I'll try to stop and wheel back on. If I miss him, it doesn't matter because it's too low to get to the ball anyway. If we run it over here to the right-hand side,
You're pitching off into 7 there.
number 7, yes, sir, that's right. Reading the 5 technique. And again, quarterback's mentality is what? Full ball. Full ball. We know we're going to hammer that double team in the middle of next week, and that son of a gun better squeeze. So pull the ball. If we're running it up here to the G side, now the double team, over to that front number, back hip, double team, tackle, under and up. And I know I've said this a million times, right? To an A-gap defense, when I'm Veer blocking, I expect what? Squeeze. If I don't get squeezed, expect the linebacker to run through. Expect it. Because if he jumps outside, what's our quarterback going to do with the ball? He's going to give it, and if we get that guy blocked, our fullback is going to hit his dadgum head on the goal post because there's nobody there to tackle. Because guess what the halfbacks do? It's easier for me to draw to this side because I can't hardly see it over here. If we're running over here, our halfback's going to the linebacker, correct? If this is this side, I can do it over here just so you can see. If this guy jumps outside and the linebacker gets pinned, our halfback is coming to block the linebacker. No linebacker. Where do I go? Belly back out to the free safety. So everybody should be blocked. Everybody. We're doubling him. He's pinned. The fullback's coming through. He stepped outside. The halfback keeps going to the free safety. So there's got to be the turf monster that tackles the fullback. If we react to it correctly. That's why, guess what? The 5 technique better squeeze and take the dive. And that's what the quarterback knows, and that's why he's pulling the ball most of the time. Again, that's our thought process.
The tackle, if Willie doesn't plug that on, he's going for Mike, right?
Yeah, well, no, this is against no Mike.
Hey,
Oh, no Mike. Yes, no Mike. If we're running against Mike, he is responsible. What we just did, Veer blocking against Mike defense, he's responsible for the Mike backer. If they do run a switch stunt and the wheel backer gets across his face on the way to the Mike, he blocks the Mike. Excuse me, the wheel. The wheel crosses his face on his way to the Mike, he blocks the wheel. But against no Mike, he's going front side to back side. If he does get squeezed off, he gets squeezed off. Linebacker straights over the top. We've always got 2 on him. Halfback takes him. He continues on to the backside linebacker. Questions? See if we can look at this one real quick. I don't know. Probably not near big. We don't see 2 linebackers very much anymore. And probably the reason is because of belly option. Let me get one. All right, what is the defense?
Oh my God.
No, Mike. the right tackle screws up, but we got the double team. I'm gonna go to the type copy here. This is a G. It's hard to see, I know, but he's a G. So the double team is happening inside. Tackle should go front side to back side. If he gets squeezed, does he get squeezed? Let's see. No. So he should be expecting that front side linebacker to plug, right? The front side, he screwed us because I guarantee this kid right here is very good at what we do. He was expecting that linebacker to plug right now, and that linebacker didn't. He ran over the top, which is not sound defensively because now nobody's tackling the fullback. Or maybe it's sounder than I know, and they know what they're doing and I don't. He should have, because the guy did not plug, never chase a linebacker, right? So he should come and bolo and whap that guy. And now all of a sudden the fullback's gone. But he keeps continuing on and chasing the linebacker, who now we've got two of them on him, and nobody blocking the backside guy. So the backside guy makes the tackle. Let me see what happened to the center. Oh, I know what happened to the center. What happened to the center? Center was double teamed, right? Two G's scooped it backside. See the scoop. We've got somebody for the backside linebacker. Again, here's the G. This time, wham. They do plug him, right? And our tackle does a great job. What's the tackle? No pressure, bam, plug him and go. Half back. Up to the free safety because the linebacker got blocked. Should be a decent double team here again. See the double team, whap, tackle, no pressure, plugging linebacker. Guess what? Big play. Big play. Halfback, great job redirecting. You can see him. I'm telling you, that kid, if you need somebody to come show you how to do this stuff, I'd get that guy right there. Because he's going to do the right thing every time. Linebacker plug, bam, out to the safety right now. He is outstanding. Again, we screw up here because we run the free safety supposed to be nose up the ball. We should be running up, same play up top. He didn't look at the safety. But we run it, this one, he gets the tackle in between, halfback. Halfback loads the linebacker, gets him doubling right there. Tackle inside, this time he gets squeezed, or no, he doesn't double, he's on it.
Hello?
And the receiver sees that as cover two. That's what he sees that as. That's why he goes in there inside. Here's one. You remember I told you about watching? Remember we're going to see this clip? This is one of them. If it's not, it's off the float. To the eagle side, double team with the free technique. Not him in the middle of next week. Pull back. Hug the double team. Undercut the linebacker. That linebacker doesn't step very much now. You'll see on the back view. Cuts the front side, you'll see it on the back copy nicely. Double team, undercut this guy. Watch his steps. He shuffles out there. Our fullback tighten the double team and undercut that linebacker right there. And that's what we get a lot. And the guy that makes the play is actually the free safety and the backside linebacker. And if
Did
here,
you get the backside linebacker?
excuse me,
Why didn't we get the backside linebacker?
let me see if I can do it without even looking back at it. What did we run it against? Was it eagle or was it G? Eagle. The center. If I've got eagle to this side, the center is going to take an overstep looking at that front side linebacker just to make sure he isn't running through inside. And he knows this double team is going to be hairy. You know what I mean? They're going to knock this guy around. So he is really worried about getting out of the way of that double team. And the backside linebacker, he's expecting to stay flat, and this guy came behind him. So he got up the field too far. Let me show you again just real quick. Watch the center get out. He's taking a peek at this linebacker, and then the backside guy just beats him underneath from back behind. How about, I wonder if we could have got somebody through there scooping the G maybe, the guy that's scooping the G if he had helped a little bit more. He just giving guys that. And the center should be able to block that guy easy. And if he's not as concerned, what's the defense? These are four great clips in a row right here of a couple things. First thing is, look where the ball starts. Ball's on that yard line. What is that? 43. Our receiver. I want you to watch these four clips. And this, I hadn't said this, and I've forgotten to. We're looking to try to get 5 yards every time we run an option. 5 yards. If we can get 5 yards, we're comfortable with that. If the defense does what they're supposed to do, we do what we're supposed to do. We feel like we can get 5 yards if we execute every time. If we don't get 5 yards, it's either because we didn't execute or because the defense did something cheating us, and we need to be able to do something back to them. Either throw it over their head, do something. And that's what, look at these 4 clips. That ball starts 2 yards behind the 45, 43 yard line. He doesn't do anything, but we get the ball pitched. Watch where we catch this pitch. Again, veer block, load the linebacker, attack downhill, get the ball pitched, and we catch it on the line of scrimmage. And our receiver does absolutely nothing. He gets on the wrong path, doesn't come close to blocking the guy, and we pick up 5 yards. So I know we ought to keep running that play because we got 5 yards and we screwed up. Now, yeah, it should be a double team, load it. Now we come back the next time, the ball's on the 40. Veer block, they tackle him, we get the ball pitched. Where we catch him? On the line of scrimmage. On the line of scrimmage, our receiver, again, doesn't do a ton. He doesn't do a ton, but at least he gets a little closer, and we still pick up 5 yards. So we're going to keep running the play because the defense has done nothing to stop us. Quarterback actually got a broken left hand in this game, played in the snow. Unbelievably tough-minded kid.
Let's get a little basketball back.
That's what he pitched. He actually broke his hand in the 10th game. Never mentioned it to us. We knew his hand was swollen up, but you talk about a tough-minded son of a gun. He broke his left hand right through here somewhere. Didn't say anything because we're fixing to go play Division I, and he wants to go down there and have a chance to beat him. We play in the snow down in Louisiana in December, which is unheard of. And we go down there and play in the snow, running all this stuff, and don't turn the ball over a single time with a one-handed quarterback, and win. And, you know, beat a Division I and all that. And we're fortunate. Here, same thing, everything else, and they get a little better. Receiver does absolutely nothing this time. We still catch the ball on the yard line. And the question is, should we run the play again or not? Because we don't gain anything. Well, yeah, because we screwed up. It wasn't them. But watch the free safety. He's almost getting ready for that seam because look where he is and look where the halfbacks, he runs a seam down the middle of the field. But it wasn't him that stopped the play. It was the receiver in the corner. That's what it was. So, I saw the receiver miss the block. We're going to come back and run the son of a gun again. This time they bring the 5 technique inside. They beat our halfback on the load block. Now look at the receiver. He goes out there and tries to cut the guy and gets just enough of him. We pitch the ball and catch it on the line of scrimmage again. And the defense screwed up because their corner came inside our receiver and got cut. And so we pick up 8 yards this time. And that's how the thought process goes for us. Questions about the loop, triple Veer and loop. And we're not going to get to the loop. I'll sit here and talk with you afterwards if you want to talk in between or at lunch or something about loop. We don't run loop blocking again, but if you want to talk about it, I think I've seen enough of it, I promise, from a couple of folks that we play that I know what they're trying to do. So if you want to do that, we'll get something to either do it or talk about it in here.
What determines when you go to a load rather than a regular arm?
What we do is this. Again, we're just very simple. If we get Mike defense, we're going to arc. If we get no Mike, we're going to load. And I'll tell you, what we do is this. If we're playing a Mike defense, where the Sam and the wheel backer are looking at the fullback, we'll go to a load scheme right now. Because anytime you can load a Sam and a wheel backer, they've got major problems. Because they've only got 2 secondary guys left. And you're blocking one of them with the receiver and pitching off the other one. So you end up with a 3-on-2 situation. Anytime you can load a Sam or a wheel backer, that's what we would do. But for us, we're getting to where people play it a lot better out of 4-3, the load block, and it's hard to get a load block. So we just said, we're not going to worry about it unless we see the Sam backer looking in at the fullback before the ball snaps. He's looking at the fullback and trying to key the fullback and all that stuff. Now we feel like our halfback can block him, and now we'll load it. But that's just, we try to get simple from that standpoint, make it easier on our halfback. That way we don't have to spend time with them working on loading those Sam backers, except on belly option, and then we don't have to worry about them getting a great block because we're getting outside so fast.
What about 50 cover 4?
50 cover 4. We're not going to run triple and load it. It's no mic, right? But I can only run load schemes if there's one defensive guy outside the read. And with 50, there's an end and a cover 4 safety. So they got 2 men. So we go again to midline or the zone option that we're going to look at here in a second. Now, if you want to cheat them, the way to cheat them is either load it and hope that the safety doesn't just run the pitch, or crack him and make the corner make the tackle on the pitch. Somebody's going to be unblocked. Or you load. That's right. That's the answer. And that's what was next in this thing. That's how you handle it. And we haven't faced enough 50 in the past to merit us having to work on loop and work the quarterback, pull and pitch. But because we're seeing so much 50 now, and if you're facing 50, or if the team you've got to beat to win the state championship is a 50 defense team, then I believe I'd work on it. And you can do it 2 ways. You can either run triple, or you can do it off midline. And instead of fanning the tackle on the end and asking the quarterback to get up inside, loop the tackle on the front side linebacker, and they'll pitch off the end and arc. And we'll talk about that with the midline stuff. But I ain't no doubt that against 50, we're limited against 50. We can't run load scheme, which is what we would like to do. So that's what we need to look at.
If you did that, would you double, and bring the onside guard right to the back, and you double team the back?
If we looped it, it would have to be guard loops, tackle loops. So we've got one inside linebacker, one outside linebacker, and reach the nose, and read the nose. In other words,
Just see this kind of front side or back side, depending on the field.
right, I think what most people do when they're running triple, oh, I know, you quit, don't worry, this is
We're talking
unpageable stuff.
midline.
1-224-4400 or online at rosequarter.com.
Before you hit the road this summer, make time to visit your local Chevy dealer, where you'll find a great selection of new 2002 Chevy trucks, like Avalanche, Tahoe, and Suburban. Now yours for 0% financing for 60 months. That's right, 0% financing on Avalanche, Tahoe, and Suburban. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Wear contacts? Visine for contacts does more than re-wet your lenses. It really, really refreshes your eyes. Visine for contacts gets the dry out when contacts are in.
USA Baby announces our one-day only sale. This Saturday for 12 hours only, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Save 5 to 70% on everything in store. Cribs, strollers, car seats, and so much more. But only this Saturday and only for 12 hours, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Everything is marked down from 5 to 70% this Saturday, only at USA Baby.
All right, we're back. My next guest is here with a song from his new album, The Rare Delight of You. And he's appearing at Feinstein's at the Regency right here in New York until June 22nd. Please welcome the John Pizzarelli Trio.
1, 2, 3, 4.